Okay, hi guys, welcome. This is our special Diamonds Do Disney call. I brought in the big guns. I called in a favor from my friend Ashley. We've literally been friends for like 3 seconds. I am in the 5 to 8 star thread now, and we were on a mastermind one morning and we were just chit chatting about what we're doing. And I'm like, well, let me tell you all the shit I'm doing. And I was just telling her all the fun stuff our team does, and she's like, you're my spirit animal and I'm kind of obsessed with you. And I'm like, I feel the same about you. So let's just be best friends. And here we are. So she is going to talk to us tonight. She is a wife and a mom of 2 girls. She is a 7-star diamond and a 2-time elite coach. She has hit Success Club 60 months in a row. And she went from being the coach that would hit Success Club 6 on the last day of the month to now averaging SC30, SC40 every single month. So I asked her if she would come on here and share her pearls of wisdom on how she's built her business, and how not only has she built her business, but how is she thriving so much, because she will tell you she was the queen of being stuck. And so I thought that it would be so awesome for her to come on here tonight and chat with you guys. I know so many of you are pushing for Diamond, and she is just going to share her heart and her wisdom with us. So without further ado, you can take it away, my friend.
Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking excited. And you guys, this is like chaos is happening outside my door. Don't worry, Dad's got it. So freaking exciting. So like, oh my gosh, I fell in love with Danny. I was telling my coaches this because Danny keeps coming up in like all these places and I'm like, hey, I know her. But after the national wake up call, I like completely fell in love with her. And then someone tagged her in our message thread from corporate that I was like, wait, Danny's in here? And I like, and then we did a hot seat thing and I was like, I know that face. That's the national wake up call face. Like there were so many things she said about if you're getting obligations about something, you're not talking about it enough, that I was like, dude, I'm 5 years into the business. I needed to hear that. So much yes. This is like freaking huge. Okay, so really quick like background, seriously fast, Ashley. I bought Turbo Jam on an infomercial all the way back in 2008 and completely fell in love with Chalene Johnson. I was not someone who had ever been active, had ever been fit, was significantly overweight, and was getting ready to get married. And so like, hey, what better time to like start working on your health right before your wedding? Ended up calling off my wedding and put Turbo Jam back on the shelf, didn't really do anything with it, got married, met my husband, got married, decided I didn't care about losing weight before the wedding. And on our 1-year anniversary in 2010, I went to the doctor and found out, for just a regular physical thing that his work made us do, found out that I was 300 pounds. We didn't have a scale. I did not know that. And that was very like, oh, okay. And kind of mentioned to the doctor that we were thinking about maybe trying to have a baby. And the doctor was the first person to ever kind of mention that I should probably lose weight. And I thought he was a complete jerk, and came home and ate a whole bag of Doritos by myself and did absolutely nothing for a year and a half. And fast forward to January 2012, those cliche New Year's resolutions, I decided to make a New Year's resolution, quote unquote, and that I wasn't gonna like push to weigh a certain number. I didn't care what my pant size said. I wanted to feel better, and I wanted to make some better habits. And along the way, started about 3 months in, I realized I hated running. I thought I was going to be one of those runners. That running program is going to push me. We'll talk about that in a second. But was trying to do Couch to 5K, hated it with my whole soul. So I was like, hey, I should get Turbo out again. Got Turbo Jam out, loved it, got burned out real quick because I'd done them for off and on for 5 years. Turbo Fire had just been released. Bought Turbo Fire, lost 100 pounds in 2012. Very beginning of 2013, I lost 150 pounds. Very beginning of 2013, found out I was pregnant with my daughter, and my doctor didn't like the idea of me doing kickboxing. That was high impact, so they told me to stop. It was the only form of exercise I had ever found that I enjoyed. So I gained it all back during my pregnancy. And for like a very brief moment in 2012, when I was losing weight like crazy, I was posting my transformation, I was selling TurboFire left and right. I had a friend who was a coach. I knew her link. I had everything saved. Someone would message me. I signed her up. So freaking many people with Turbo. And finally got to the point that she convinced me I should sign up to be a coach. Signed up, made it a month, quit. In that month, I made $900. I was more than halfway to Diamond. I'd earned my free ticket to Summit, and I quit. So it had nothing to do with like, well, I'm not making money. I was making money. It was just super salesy, freaking hated it. So I canceled, started telling everybody and their dog they shouldn't drink Shakeology because it's just super expensive protein. And got pregnant with my daughter, gained all the weight, whatever. Had my daughter, I'm like, I've lost weight before, I'll do it again. I have TurboFire, I know what to do. Could not get the weight off, could not stick to any freaking thing. And fast forward to her year mark, the scale had not moved, and she was a year old. I was working out 5 to 6 days a week with Beachbody workouts. My nutrition was just a freaking joke. And I had a friend sign up to be a coach, and she was going to do these little color-coded boxes. I knew exactly what they were because I was following, like, I don't even know how many 15 stars I was following. Because if you've done TurboFire and you really pay attention to the cast, that is basically a cast of 15 stars. Because Shalene is really good friends with a lot of them. Christine Dwyer is all of their founding coach. And I just loved them because they were in TurboFire. So I knew what these containers were. I knew, what 21 Day Fix was because I'd seen all them post about it. And I was like, oh, great. She's signing up to be a coach. Well, little did I know, 6 months later, she was going to be down 60 pounds. She was going to be about to enter 2-star qualification, which I knew what that was because I'd been a coach. And she was making $1,000 a week. And here I am, been doing these exact same workouts from the same company she is, but the weight won't come off me. She's losing 60 pounds and she's getting paid to do it. And like, what? I've been a coach before. When you're an Emerald, you make $14. Like, how are you making $1,000 a week? And so I messaged her and I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I swear what you're doing isn't what I did. And so she plugged me into a sneak peek. We talked about it. She actually followed up with me because I ghosted her, and she followed up with me, and I ended up signing up. My first 6 weeks, I did absolutely nothing she told me to. This is going to be one of the things I talk about. I need to say my story faster so I can actually start getting into the nitty gritty. I didn't listen to her. Nothing happened in my business my first 6 weeks. I didn't sign anyone. I did not sell anything. And I was really, really, really mad. And I thought that, I was right. This is so salesy. This only works for certain people. And this is not going to work for me. Had a heart-to-heart with God, and it was very impressed on me that there's somebody that I was going to find in the next month. I get chills every time I talk about this. There's somebody I was going to find in that next month, and I needed to not quit yet. Give it one more month because there's somebody that I need to find. And so I said, fine, I will try it for one more month. And you know what, while I'm at it, maybe I'll just do it the way that my upline's been telling me to. Maybe I'll actually do the training. I'll actually do this little power hour sheet they gave me. Back then it was called Power of Threes. And I will actually drink my shake every day. I will actually eat the foods that are supposed to go in the containers. I'm going to stop leaving out the greens. I'm going to stop. There was no black container that came with this. Donuts aren't a yellow, Ashley. And I'm going to actually follow this plan. And holy shit, I hit Success Club 14. And a week later went Diamond, and then kind of went on this whoa, and because that happens, you rank advance and then people quit. That happens. That's a thing, but it completely derailed me. So I did this up, down, yo-yo thing till I hit my 2.5-year mark and was on the verge of quitting. I'd been to Summit twice. I was being recognized as a 2-star. I hit Success Club 27 months in a row, and I was barely making $1,000 a month as a freaking 2-star. That's when they say you're supposed to be making a full-time income. And I just felt so back up as a 2-star qualifying coach. I did not have my second CVC yet. Felt so freaking fake. Went to a retreat, and all the things lined up. I came home, I changed all the things. I was officially a 2-star. I got my second CBC, and within 7 months, I was leading the number 66 team in the company, and we were elite. And we've been elite ever since. And that like pivot of like, okay, there are some very tangible things that when I look back on when I went from that 6-week lull of not helping anybody my first 6 weeks to all of a sudden I'm a diamond. And then when I look at, oh, I'm a 2-star and no one will sign up with me and I'm barely hitting Success Club and I'm barely getting any money, this sucks, to retiring my husband and leading a 2-time elite team. Like there are some very specific things that happened both times. And I just didn't realize it until it happened the second time that I was like, oh shiz, I knew this. So we're going to talk about them because as great as I think my story is, I want to give you guys some like tangible stuff. Okay. And I freaking love questions. So I'll try not to get distracted, but if you have them as we go, and I'll try to go fast so we can do Q&A at the end if you guys want, but like feel free to drop all the things in the chat. I'll try to not squirrel. Okay. Number 1, sounds pretty obvious. You need to want it. You're not going to accidentally go diamond. You're not going to accidentally go 2-star. You're not going to dip your foot in the pool and, oh my gosh, look at that. We hit elite. That there is nothing about this that is accidental. Nothing. So you need to want it, and you need to admit to yourself that you want it, that you want to be diamond, that you want, and why you want to be diamond, why you want to be 2-star, why you want to be elite, why you want to be, you know, right now, why do I want to be a superstar diamond, in non-Beachbody words. So I'm an Enneagram 3. I will do some shady shit for a lanyard ribbon that says I accomplished something, but that is not, no one outside of Beachbody cares about how long my lanyard is. And so it switched from, well, I want to be a diamond because they'll say my name on the National Wake Up Call and I get a medal. Oh, curse you, Summit being canceled. You get a medal at Summit. Y'all, I wasn't a runner. I've never earned medals. I wasn't an athlete in high school. I've never earned medals. Beachbody gives me medals for helping people. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm here for it. Like, I love it. So, but that was my thinking. Well, I want to be diamond because they're going to give me these cool things and I'll get to be in my upline's cool thread and I'll get to be in Micah's diamond group and I'll get to do weekly calls with diamond. Like, I want to be a diamond. And like, okay, try explaining that to your husband. Babe, I'm working really hard because I want to be in this cool group with Micah. Well, who's Micah? Like that just, it's not a thing. Flipped in my head with the first time with diamond. I had a transcription job that I freaking hated with my whole soul. Made $400 a month. It completely ruled my life. My schedule sucked. I was making like $10 an hour. And it was great that I could like make my own schedule, except no, I couldn't because I had a mandatory amount of work I had to do every day. And I could only do it when my daughter was napping. She was 18 months old. And they sit so quietly and play while you're wearing soundproof headphones on. Not like I had to do it when she was asleep. And so I hated it. And Jaylyn was like, dude, you realize that Success Club 10, right? If you sign every single one of them up as a coach, plus the commission, you get the $100 bonus because they're all signing up as coaches, and the couple cycle bonuses, that's $400. Let alone next month when the SC10 leads kick in and it starts to compound. Like, that's like Success Club 10 this month, you quit your job. And I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay, I could do that. And all of a sudden it went from, I want to be a diamond to I want to quit my transcription job so that I make my own schedule and I do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, because I'm not at somebody else's beck and call anymore. And that like game on, like, here we go. 2-star. It was when the flip happened at 2-star and all of a sudden we went elite. It was, my husband almost missed my daughter's birth because of what his work was telling us. And he lived on another state in a hotel room and our marriage was on the rocks and I didn't know if we were going to make it. And I needed him home more. I needed him to have a different job. I needed to sleep in the same bed as my husband instead of sleeping next to a loaded gun. And it hit me that like something's got to give. He's got to find a new job. He's whatever. And it occurred to me, well, my uplines make a lot of money. If they make a lot of money, maybe I can make a lot of money too. I want to make a lot of money at this. I want to treat this like a job. I want to, that elite bonus, that $500 a month elite bonus and the 5-star bonuses that come every quarter and all those things, that would change my life. That would change, like Jake could get a new job and I'm getting my second CVC. I can like drive my bank down because I had a strong leg. Like what if I make enough money that my husband could quit his job? And it like that switch in my head of admitting like, I want to do this. This is not something that I'm doing because someone's making me. I want to do this because it will bring me this fantastic non-Beachbody word. So you want to push for insert Beachbody word, diamond, 2-star, superstar, elite, whatever, because it will bring me non-Beachbody word. Okay. Flipping that switch in my head was like the definition of rocket fuel when those things aligned. Okay. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, show up and listen to your upline. Danny did not tell me to say this. So Danny's probably all like, dude, what are you about to say? Remember, I was in another team, and so I thought I knew better. I didn't need to watch Micah's cool training. I mean, I don't care that she's literally currently in the top 10 and went 15-star 9 months after she signed up. What does she know? And so I wouldn't watch anything in her trainings, and I wouldn't do her little power hour thing. Like, what is this? And when I had my like come to Jesus moment that there was somebody I needed to sign up that month, P.S. the only I signed up, like I said, I had SC14 that month, and I remember almost everybody that signed up, but the 3 people that I'm like, oh, that's who it was. My husband signed up that month, and he has lost 40 pounds since he started doing Beachbody workouts with me, and following, he does like a weird hybrid of 2B and UPF. Whatever, it's working. He's losing weight. He's the healthiest he's been in a really long time. I will take it. He's in love with Joel Freeman. Lift 4 is like his favorite thing ever. My mom got over an autoimmune disease and has lost like 70 pounds and runs half marathons. She's in her 50s and is still one of my discount coaches. She's still here 5 years later. My sister, who I begged and pleaded to come do this with me because she loved turbo just as much as me. She was a turbo instructor. She did not want to do Beachbody again. This was going to be her 3rd time signing up, not her 2nd. She did not want to do it. She couldn't afford Shakeology, blah, 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 blah. I literally begged and pleaded her every single day for those 6 weeks. She signed up. She is now 2-star and well on her way to ending this year elite. And those 3 people, I needed to keep showing up so that they could join me. Okay. Anyway. Okay. My upline started talking about this new program that was coming out called Size. And there were so many people in the network. If you guys are new, you might not even know what program I'm talking about. But there were so many people that were like, what's a dance program? I like P90X. I like Insanity. I like whatever. I'm not going to do this. And I'm over here like, ooh, we get to move to the beat and there's no burpees or push-ups or equipment. I'm down for this. And so I listened. When they talked about hyping the program and the sample came out and to do it and to talk about it and to send the sample to people, I did it. And when the program came out and they said to buy it, I did. And when the program arrived in my mailbox, because I was back in the pre-Beachbody On Demand dinosaur days when you had to wait for your DVDs, that I plugged in the DVD and I started the program and I took progress pictures and I posted and oh my gosh, I hit SC14 and I went diamond like a week later. And I also hit Success Starter. They kept telling me that like I needed to hit this Success Starter thing. And it was the last week of July. And then I did really good in August. And then the first week of September, like right there was that 6 weeks. Went Success Starter, went diamond, and it was during a launch. So anything that you guys are hearing in the National Wake Up Calls and the Beachbody Champs page from other Success Starters in your team who went through MBF, I'm a little biased. I went through MBF. I was picked to be in the test group too. This program is freaking amazing. Like, listen to the hype. Listen, like, buy it. If you didn't buy it today, happy launch day. I was going to start with that. If you haven't bought it, I would, so that your ropes can come and talk about it. If you haven't done the sample, do the sample, let people know you can send it to them, start building a list. So that as you're going and as you're getting results, you have a list of people who have asked for the sample so that you can follow up with them. I'm not saying they're going to buy a challenge pack this month, but most of those people do come around at some point. And that's what I've done with any launch that has been a trigger for something really good in my business. That's exactly what I did. And I wasn't in the test group for most of those programs. I went 1-star because of Country Heat. I wasn't in that test group. I went 2-star qualifying the first time, we fell out, but the first time went in because of Quarter Force. I wasn't in that test group. We actually went 2-star because of Shift Shop. I wasn't in that test group. We went 3-star because of 80-Day Obsession. I wasn't in that test group. We hit Elite because of 2B Mindset. I wasn't in that test group. So launches can absolutely catapult your business, like so much. And Kayleen, I'm guessing, are you pregnant? Is that why you said that? I went 2-star. I totally left this out. The day I went 2-star, and like the whole like, oh my gosh, I'm going 2-star and I feel really fake and whatever. I gave birth the day the back office showed 2-star. Like, woke up, did Country Heat, checked the back off because it was a goal of mine to work out the day I gave birth. Did Country Heat because that's one of my soulmate programs. Checked the back office. It said 2-star official. And then I went to the hospital and I had a baby. So you can still totally grow your business when you are pregnant. It is like so possible, because if a pregnant girl can get up and work out, dude, what the freak is my excuse? Like, we can totally still, and I, P.S., did not have a transformation while I was pregnant. I was not that cute girl who like chiseled her arms. Ashley Smith, she's in the Micah umbrella. I love her, but I love to hate her. She was in the MM100 test group while she was pregnant. Her arms, she got freaking guns during MM100 while she was pregnant. Oh no, that's not me. That's not me. I worked out basically every day of my pregnancy, still gained like 80 pounds almost. Is that right? Something like that. And still went 2-star. I still was hitting Success Club. So because I'm honestly not 100% sure what I was doing that made that happen. I kept showing up. I don't know. I really do think that's like, keep showing up. Keep showing up. Jennifer, what was that day? Like the date that it happened? September 28th, 2017. And it was also, that was a big day for my whole like upline. That was a big day. So much. Okay, so back to tip number 2. Show up and listen. Use the tools. Use the launches. And granted, if I have a superpower, it feels awkward to say that, but if I have a superpower, it's FOMO. And so I am all about making people feel like they are missing out if they are not in my group, and not even that if they're not doing my program, if they're not in my group, working with me, getting my resources, getting my support, getting my encouragement. If they are not working with me doing this program, they are missing out. If they are not drinking Energize with me, I mean, not like with me, I'm an introvert, but they're not drinking Energize, they're missing out. If they're not using Recover, they're missing out. If they're not doing 2B Mindset, they're missing out. I'm trying to be open-minded about why people would want to do Fortune Fix. But if they don't have the new 160 challenge pack that comes with both of them, you're a friggin' idiot and you're missing out. Like, that's, so I've used launches to grow my business and just create crazy FOMO. So listen to what uplines are telling you. Listen to what the company is doing, because there's a reason. Okay, tip number 3, belief. I believed with my whole soul that if I showed up and I did my workout and I followed those color-coded little boxes, because that was in the pre-2B days, that it would work. I believed if I did that power hour thing and I did my connections and my invites and I posted the occasional call to action and whatever, that it was going to lead to at least Success Club, if not Diamond. When I got my second CVC and all the things changed, I believed that if I was consistent with those things, that I would get to where I wanted to be. But beyond that, it's not even that I believed that it would work. I mean, I did, okay, let's start there. I literally told myself every single day when I woke up, sat down into my power hour. I didn't realize it was happening. I didn't say it out loud, but my brain was very like, this is going to work. This is going to work. Like this power hour thing, this is going to work. If I do this, this is going to work. And I can do this. These are very simple boxes. I can do this. This is going to work. Where I've had literally remember times that I've posted call to actions and I've told myself, nobody's going to reply to this. This is so salesy. I'm not going to have anybody that wants to purchase this. This is not going to work. Which one of those things led to like where you want it to go? So like belief is massive, that it's not just that you do the things, you got to believe the things are going to work. And because your energy will be completely different. Even if you're literally doing the exact same post with the exact same picture at the exact same time of day, energy is completely different. Like you have got to believe. Okay. And beyond that, PD is a thing. I was thinking about this analogy today. We're gonna do this game. Okay. In the chat, I want to hear what you bought your husband for his birthday. Last time he had a birthday. What'd you buy your husband? Significant other, spouse, loved one, whatever. Just something that comes to mind. It can be Christmas, Father's Day, any sort of special clothes. Okay, we're going with clothes. Balance first. Okay, the answer was clothes. From here on out, for Christmas, that's what you're buying your spouse for Father's Day. You're buying him clothes. How many of you are going to be, is your spouse going to be like over the moon, like dying of joy, tears in his eyes? How did you know this is what I wanted? Because you bought him clothes. Some of you that might be your husband's love language. That's not a rhetorical question. Like how many of you like that is going to like light him up? And how many of you versus he'll be like, thanks. Okay. So that's personal development. If I tell you, you need to go read 5-Second Rule because that book changed my life. You should go read 5-Second Rule. That is like the definition of like telling everyone they need to buy clothes for their spouse. Because maybe your spouse, my spouse would freaking die if I bought him clothes. The thing that would make my husband like get tears in his eyes is a gun. Like that would make him like, oh my gosh, you bought me a gun? Like it would, he would die. He would die, okay? Because I know him. I know what he wants. I know what will make him happy. Buying that gift will fill that need, okay? That is personal development. If you have a mean girl that is telling you that you are boring and why would anybody follow you and blah, 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 blah. 5-Second Rule is about is about like getting over your procrastination. That book is not going to help you. It doesn't mean it's not a good book. 5-Second Rule is an amazing book, but it's not going to help you. If you read like Jab, 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 Right Hook from Gary Vaynerchuk, that book is about how to like grow your social media and whatever. It's a very technical book. I still don't think that's going to help you, even though it sounds like it's going to help you because it's about how to like post on social media and do's and don'ts and whatever. It's a great book. Still isn't going to help you. The book that's going to help you like, dude, no, I do have a story I should share is going to be like, you are a badass and like she owns the place and maybe stories that stick from Kendra Holt, maybe like that's going to be the gift that gets the tears in the eyes. Okay. So when it comes to like belief, I know that is something I was doing wrong for the first 2.5 years of my business is I did PD. I checked that box. I bought my husband a Christmas present. I bought him those clothes. I'm buying him the gift. Why doesn't he think I'm the greatest wife ever? Well, because I wasn't like, am I making sense? There's a very sweet spot where you're like, okay, mean girl does not like that I'm reading this book right now because it's making her like lose her ground because like, oh yeah, I can, okay. Like when you start to get over those limiting beliefs and those blocks, that is like dangerous ground for your inner mean girl because you will start like slaying the goals. But it's not just that you're doing PD, you've got to be doing the right PD. Yes, Like She Owns the Place is by, I never remember her name, Kara Alwaliba. I don't know. It's like she's got like 3 names, and I always like she owns. It's in my Audible. Hold on. Yep, like she owns the place. Kara Alwaliba, like that. It does have some F words. I'm gonna warn you now, but it is like my favorite book on confidence in the whole world. It is about like owning who you are and not caring about what anybody else thinks. It's fantastic. It is so great. So when you find, I turned into a personal development junkie right after that like shift happened. I went from reading like 10 minutes of PD a day just to check my little box to I read like on any given day between 2 to 4 hours of personal development a day now, because it like really, and again, 5-second rule changed my life because I was struggling with procrastination. And that was the first time I read a book about what I was struggling with. And that it was like, oh my gosh, what if I put my phone in the bathroom and I have to get up and touch the ground and I have to go in there and I have to turn on the light. Like, what if I actually do that? What if I actually started waking up to my alarm? Even though I have a literally 4-day-old baby. What if I actually did this? And oh my gosh, almost 3 years later, I literally have not pushed snooze once. Literally not once in 3 years since I read that section of that book. And I wake up most days at 5 a.m. So that book changed my life because that's what I was struggling with. When you find that sweet spot, you will like become freaking unstoppable. Okay, last tip. Control the controllable with action. So there are so many things in this business we cannot control. I cannot control when I send that share a cart if they actually fill it out. I cannot control if the person I'm talking to is actually going to message me back. I cannot control if the coach I just signed up is actually going to go Emerald, or she's actually going to go Diamond, or she's actually going to hit Success Club, or she's actually going to hold her rank. I can't control launches of that. Like, I don't know which program Beachbody is going to like, I can't control that. I can't control my spouse. I can't control my kids. Like I can't control like whatever. And that was very defeating for me for a very long time, that I hit Success Club on the last day of the month because I can't control that they ghost me when I message them. I can't control that I posted on a day that the algorithm didn't like me and nobody liked my post. I can't control that I dropped my husband's diamond. I never dropped diamond, but my husband dropped diamond multiple times because his emeralds keep canceling. I can't control that. Okay, that's true, but that's a shitty place to live. And when I had that mindset shift of like, okay, well, what can I control? I can control that I push play. No matter what, I follow my program. No matter what. I can control what goes in my mouth. Nobody is tying me down, making me eat ice cream. I can control that I actually follow my meal plan. And again, if I want to follow my meal plan, goes back to that number 1, but if I want to, I can control that. If I can control my personal development. I can control how much time I'm spending making my ears better versus how much time I'm spending watching Netflix. I can control that. I can control how many connections I do every day. I can control how many invites I send per day. I can control how many follow-ups I do per day. I can control that I post every day. I can control the energy and content I provide in my stories. I cannot control how many story viewers I get. I cannot control how many people swipe up or click the poll or whatever, but I can control that I did it. I can control that it was there. I can control that it had the right energy behind it because I did my personal development first and I'm not coming from a weird negative headspace because I'm controlling what I can control. I can control that I wake up in the morning and work my business before my kids wake up. Usually my kids wake up a little early sometimes, but that I get in stuff so that I'm not putting my kids on the back burner and I'm not putting my business on the back burner. I can control my schedule and how I spend my time. It's one of my affirmations. That I can control, like, and the more that I started finding all these things that I was like, oh, I can control that I say my affirmations every day. I can control that I review my vision and my goals every single day. So I know what I'm pushing for and why I'm pushing for it. I can control that there is not a single coach in my team who sends more connections or invites than me. Not one. Nobody in my team outworks me. Nobody. I can control that. And the more I focused on that, holy shit, how did I hit Success Club on the 5th? I don't hit Success Club this early. I hit Success Club on the last day of the month. Oh my gosh, I hit Success Club 10. That like rarely happened. Oh my gosh, 80-day obsession happened. I did a post and I got 400 comments asking for information. And that was like, what just happened? What just happened? And I hit Success Club 40 that month. Never, ever, 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 ever done that. Never done that. And things started to like, the more I focused on controlling what I could control, then things started happening in my business. I started getting builders. I started getting, it was crazy. It was, the 400 comments was crazy. And that was back in the days when I was too stubborn to ask for help. And I literally had a 2-month-old baby who was colicky, and my husband lived in another state for work, and I had no assistant. And I was trying to do everything by myself and it was hell. It was, I probably would have sold significantly more challenge packs if I'd had help, because I could not keep anything straight and I did not have any sort of follow-up system. So, and again, that was something I realized with the Lift 4 launch. I can control my follow-up system because people are falling through the cracks. I can control this. I can start using something to keep track of people. So control what you can control. Figure out what you can control. Start there. Make a list of what you can control. It is so not worth anybody's time to take the time to sit there and think about all the things we can't control. We know all the things we can't control. We don't need to take the time to write them down. Figure out all the things that you can control, write them down, and then make sure you're taking action on them. And I'll give you a hint, like a lot of them that are going to get you where you want to be are on your guys' tracker. So like your workout and your shake and checking into your group and doing a post and doing your stories and a lot of that stuff, you can control every single one of those things. Unless you guys have some weird tracker, which I know you don't because I'm in your group, I can see it. Your tracker does not say, go diamond today. Become an elite coach today. That is not on your tracker. That is not a checkbox. It is and it doesn't even say hit Success Club today. It does not say sell a challenge pack today. Sign a coach today. Like, they're things you can control. They are not outcomes. They are like, there's a word that's the opposite of outcome. There are things that if you do them, they will lead to the outcome of a new coach, of a challenge pack, of Success Club, of rank advancing, of blah, blah, blah. But as you focus on what you can control, the rest of it, like, it comes with consistency. It is, I cannot stress enough how much that is what I was doing wrong. If I could look, I mean, there's a lot of things I was doing wrong, but those first 2.5 years when I was so all over the place and like, literally I look back and I'm like, you literally never did a power hour. How the heck did you hit Success Club 27 months in a row and go 2-star? I don't know, but it's exactly why I felt so empty. And it's exactly why I was barely making $1,000 a month. So when I look back on like what was missing, it was the consistency. I was the coach who on the like 27th of the month would realize, oh my gosh, I'm at SC0. And I would like slam on the gas and do all the invites and all the follow-ups and 18 call to actions and basically giving away a Ferrari if you'll just buy a friggin' challenge pack so I can hit Success Club. And then the first would come and I'd be like, oh my gosh, that was so stressful. I need like 2 weeks off and I'll post, but I'm not gonna do call to actions. I'm not going to do any invites. I'm not going to do any follow-ups. I'm not going to do anything else. And then, oh, shoot, it's the 27th. That consistency thing, the thing that shifted is I had Emma on September 28th, 2017. I'd already hit Success Club, and I was so, for once, I'd already hit Success Club because I knew I was about to have a baby. I knew I couldn't do it on the last day of the month. And so I'd hit Success Club early in the month, and I was terrified I was not going to hit in October. And in October, I hit within the first week. And I was like, what if I do this every month? What if I make this my new rule that I'm at least at SC6 by the 10th? And that changed my numbers in and of itself, because your energy is so different when you're already at Success Club and people are asking you for information. I sound very hippie and like whatever talking about your energy, but it's a real thing, girl. When you are at SC6 or 10 or whatever your non-negotiable is, and people are asking you, you do not come across like stressed and frazzled and like praying that they say yes because I need you to purchase or I'm not gonna hit my goals. Like when you're already there and like your energy's totally different and you bring in more people. And all of a sudden I went from SC6 on the last day of the month to averaging anywhere between, depending on the month, but anywhere between 30 and 70 is the best month I've had. Like, and that was one of the biggest things I shifted, is trying to hit by the 5th instead of the last day of the month. Again, I can't control if I actually do it because I'm not the one filling out those, but I can make sure that I'm posting call to actions, that I'm breadcrumbing my challenge groups, that I'm sharing value so that I have a good follow-up system, so I have people to follow up with, that I'm sending my invites, that I've been expanding and connecting, like blah, blah, blah. I said all these things. But as you control those things, like so much will change. Like consistently controlling what you can control will change the game. Okay. That's what I got.
You are literally my favorite person ever, and I will take a Ferrari. So all I gotta do is buy a challenge pack. Okay, guys, what questions do you have? I know she just rocked your world, but I would love for you guys to either unmute or drop it in the chat. Let's not make it awkward and sit here and just stare at her. What questions do you have for her? She's an open book. She just told you she used to not do the things and then she'd be annoyed at herself, and now she does all the things and oh, look at those results that she wanted back then are happening now, right? It wasn't, you heard her, she did nothing for the first 6 weeks of her business. So I know all of you have been coaches for longer than 6 weeks or hitting that 6 weeks mark right now. What questions do you have for her? Alex said, how do you track your follow-ups? And then a next question is, how many invites do you do a day?
Okay, so sometimes I've heard that there are coaches who do this different than me, so take this for what it's worth. I do not track anyone that I invite unless, well, I'm going to answer the second question first because they're going to relate to each other. I send 10 invites a day, and they are like to people who like or comment on my posts or who watch my stories. And I try to screen them first just to double check that it's not a coach, because I do have a lot of coaches that follow me and that's awkward when I invite a coach. And I've used the exact same wording for almost 3 years. And I don't care if I don't keep track of how long they've been following me. I don't track if we've connected before. Whatever. Exact same wording for 3 years. Says something about just wanted to thank you for your love on my posts. It's not always easy to be vulnerable, but it's a lot easy when I have supportive people in my life. So thank you. Jazz hand emoji, cha-cha girl, unicorn, sparkle. Were you interested in joining my accountability group, or are you just being a cheerleader? Either way, I see you and I appreciate it more than you know. So thank you. I get hate. Okay, let's caveat this really fast. I get haters. Like, they're not, I see like Ashley Molstad posting screenshots and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't get haters like that. But I have haters. I get rude comments. I get rude messages. I have had coaches quit that have literally messaged every single coach in my team trying to get them to quit. I've had some shit happen. So I mean it. When I am telling someone, thank you for being supportive, it means the world to me. I mean it. I mean it. And I'm giving them an out. I'm giving them it does not say my group starts on this day. It's $160. Blah, blah, blah. Here's the link to fill it out. No, it is thank you for loving on me. You have no idea how much it means to me, because it's hard to be vulnerable when there are assholes in the world. Are you interested in doing this, or are you just being my cheerleader? I see you and it means so much to me. Okay. I have literally, knock on wood, never gotten a hater responding to that invite. I have never got you should have taken the time to get to know me first, or how come you're just in an MLM trying to, I've literally never gotten a negative message from that. Hence why I have not changed it in 3 years. So I send 10 of those a day, okay? 10 a day. One of these days I'm going to remember the math on this, but I always have to type it out. 10 a day times 5 days a week times 52 weeks a year times 3 years. I have sent that invite 7,800 times, almost. October, it will be 7,800 times. That starts to add up. That starts to lead to some pretty good Success Club numbers, even though you're sending it only 10 times a day. So that's how many I send a day. Follow-ups. I do not write the names down as I'm going because I can see in their message history if I've already invited them, if it's somebody I've talked to before. I can see all that when I'm messaging them. So I don't take the time to write it down. I know a lot of coaches do, so hopefully I'm not training you to do something Danny taught you to do. But if somebody messages back and they're like, no, I just think you're great. I love following you. I have 2 kids too. Whatever thing they say about why they follow me, I don't write them down. If they reply back and they're like, actually, yes, I have been wondering how your group works, that person goes in my follow-up system, okay? Just to give you a whatever, 1 of the 10 people I invite will say yes, they want info. So that means 5 a week, 20 a month are going to say they want info. Of those 20, 1 of them will actually purchase this month. The other 19 I'm going to have to follow up with for anywhere for 3 to 6 months before they purchase. So I got to keep track of those people. And the people that I invite that say, no, I'm good, I just love following you, it's like magic that all of a sudden 3 months later, they're in my inbox and they want to buy a challenge pack. It's really kind of cool. So I track in streak, and if they say yes, they're the only people who go in my streak. So my streak is literally a collection of people who asked for information at one point. That's it. They're not people who are following me that I'm trying to connect with and build a relationship before inviting them first. That sounds so freaking complicated. They're just people who ask me for info, and they're people that I want to make sure I don't lose. And it's worked so great. How long do I wait before I follow up? So I have a awesome, I'd love to get you info. Tell me about your goals. If they don't reply back, then I message them and I'm like, did that come through okay? Because 90% of the time I send them a voice message so they know it's me. So that I'll type, did that come over okay? And then I'll give it 3 days, and then I'll message them again and say, I don't want to be a pest in your inbox. I've literally said this exact same wording for 3 years. Don't want to be a pest in your inbox. I just know you're interested in doing what I'm doing. Is that still on your radar? Or are you still interested? I can't remember how that one ends. Then I give them a week. If they still are totally ignoring me, I send a message that says, just wanted to let you know I didn't forget about you, and when you're ready, I'll be here. In the meantime, here's a free link, or here's a free workout you can do in the Busy Cracks of Life. Insert Vimeo link to current Beachbody program that we are launching. 10 rounds, MM100, bar, MBF, whatever. Insert Vimeo link. And then I end it with a question, so it turns into a connection. How's quarantine treating you is literally what I say on all of them right now, because quarantine is something I could talk about with the whole planet. And then from there, they get moved out of my interested bucket into my not right now bucket. And honestly, it kind of depends. This is probably a bad answer. My follow-ups depend on how I'm doing on Success Club. If I'm not at my goal, or it's getting stressful for my husband's diamond, or my second CBC is kind of bare bones and I need somebody to order, then I will go back through and I'll talk to people who it's been 2 to 3 months and say something along the lines of I know we talked about you joining me. Oh, dang it. What does it say? And I cannot remember my keywords. So if I type it in my notes, I'm not going to be able to find because I have all these saved in my notes. I literally just copy and paste everything. But it says hey, I know we talked about you joining my group a couple months ago, but the timing wasn't right. Is that still on your radar? I literally try to channel all my inner Micah and say it very short so that I'm not I have a new group starting on the 18th doing a brand new program, and the challenge pack's only $160, and here's the link you can no. And I personally do not like receiving the messages that are oh, your girls are so cute. Are you still thinking about doing a challenge pack group with me? I freaking hate the messages like that, because then I'm you only went to look at my page so you could find something to say to me in your invite. That seems very weird to me, where I would rather someone be hey, I know we talked about you buying skincare a couple months ago. Are you still thinking about doing that? Like, that seems way more genuine to me than someone like pretending that they're looking at my, I don't know. So I don't like put all this time and effort into like looking at their page first and whatever. I will try to, when I'm like on my A game, I will check their page first just to make sure they're not like going through a crisis and then I'm sending them an invite while they're going through something. But I'll be honest, sometimes I forget to do that and I like send a follow-up and then I don't think I've ever sent one to someone that I was like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have sent that. But I need to be careful about that or that is going to bite me. Okay, love this idea of just tracking the ones who say yes. Yeah, it's made my life a lot easier because I'm not very organized. I'm working on it. But that's like, I can track that. Trying to track who followed me when and how long I've connected before I invited and then re-invite. And I don't re-invite people. If I send them my like cheerleader thing and they ignore me or they say no, that they're not interested, but they're just supporting me, I'm not gonna like, I do have a second cheerleader one that's like, hey, I noticed you're still loving all my stuff. For real, you are the best. Are you thinking about doing this yet? Or are you still just crushing my cheerleader life? I'll send that again, but it's like 9 months later. Like I wait a long time from when I sent the initial one. Because if somebody sends me an invite to their Usborne party and then they invite me again 3 weeks later, and then they invite me again 3 weeks later, and they invite me again 3 weeks later, and I've never replied to them, dude, I'm going to block you. Like, stop inviting me to your Usborne party. So, and I have Usborne books. This is not like a don't support Usborne. I have Usborne, Usborne, whatever that thing is. I do not like being spammed with invites. So I try to really internalize and pay attention to like, there's a Limelight girl who is a baller at following up with me about their skincare line. And I love how she talks to me. She interacts on my posts like a normal person. She comments on my stories like a normal person. And every 2 months, because that's how often I told her to check in with me to see if I'm ready to start being a grown up and consistently wash my face, she will message me and say, hey, are you ready to be a grown up and start washing your face? And like, it's not this like buildup of pretending we have a relationship. She comments on my stuff. And these people I'm inviting are people who are liking and commenting my stuff. They're watching my stories. These are people that, to a degree, I have a relationship with because I'm very vulnerable in my stories and in my posts so that people can get to know me real quick if they stick around for a second. And so that helps a lot to like rip off that Band-Aid. Hopefully that made sense. When you send a share cart and they don't fill it out, what do? I will send, like I did that today because I have a couple MBF ones that I sent last night. So I had a couple people I reached out to today that I was like, hey, just wanted to let you know, or like, hey, did you get that filled out? I just created the accountability group and I want to get you plugged in. I lead with FOMO. So I really, really, really hype my group that I just put my welcome packet together and I'm super excited to send it over to you. Did you get that filled out yet? So that there's some sort of like, they realize that the transaction is about to, this is not a transaction, this is a transformation. It's about to start. This is not about to be, you purchased, you're never going to hear from me again. Like you are about to get more from me than you ever thought you wanted, girlfriend. Did you finish yet? Because I want to give you all the things. And I mean, I do get people who don't fill out their share cards, and then if they still keep ignoring me, I freaking hate pending carts in my share cart. I'm OCD and that drives me crazy. So I delete them and I'll message them and say, hey, your invoice expired, but when you're ready to do this, let me know and I'll resend it. And then I put like a emoji or whatever. I don't like the pending ones, but I warn them first that I say like, hey, did you like the FOMO thing? And then I give it a few days and then I just delete it. So, let the cheerleaders come to you. Not necessarily. In my head, a cheerleader is someone who likes my post. So if you start following me, again, I really try to screen my posts. I mean, I try to screen accounts before I send invites. But if you go follow me and you go like one of my posts tonight, like I might accidentally invite you tomorrow because you liked my stuff. Like I don't track how often. So it might be somebody who's been following me for 4 years. And I do have people that message me that are like, I've been following you for 4 years and I've never invited them. So I'm like, either you never like anything or I'm just not doing a very good job keeping track of stuff. So, yeah, but a cheerleader in my head is somebody who liked to post or they watched my story. So like anybody who does that in my head, they came into my life for a second, they saw something they liked, so I'm going to invite them. And if they want to do this with me, great. If not, and my not right, or if they say no, I send them the Vimeo link then too. That I'm like, okay, sounds good. If you ever change your mind and want to do this with me, I'd love to have you. In the meantime, here's a free 30-minute workout to do in the mom cracks of life. Insert Vimeo link. How's quarantine treating you? And then I turn it into a connection and I talk to them. So, and again, those people come back around. So invites are planting the seed. You do not plant the seed and eat the fruit in the same day. The goal is not to send an invite and send a share a cart 3 hours later, 10 minutes later to that person, because they're going to say, yes, take my credit card. Where do I join? Like if you figure out an invite that gets people to do that, please message me and share it with me. Because that's just, it's not a thing. It's, or at least for me, it's not a thing. And I'm not by any stretch of the imagination like the most successful coach ever, but like doing it this way, it's worked pretty well. So, but again, I've had to be really, really, really consistent with it. So be consistent. Be consistent.
Okay, guys, any other questions? We have like 1 minute.
Amen. People who say yes to the first invite, I'm always like,
they're never gonna complete the share cart, and then they're like, finished. I'm like, are you outside my window? Like, are you about to kill me? Like, I'm like, what's happening? Like, I'm scared.
Amen. Those ones are weird. They're
so weird when they're just like ready, and you're like, who are you? Like, you don't have to think about this for like 6 years. Like, what?
Those people are my favorite. I have a coach that just did that. She messaged me the other day and she's like, I've been a Beachbody customer for like 6 years and I think I want to be a coach in your team. And I was like, okay, well, you should probably wait for MBF because that challenge pack is going to be the one that saves you the most money. So let's wait. And then yesterday she's like, okay, I purchased. And then she messaged me last night and she was like, I just sold 3 MBF challenge packs. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, you are great. Where did you come from? Yeah, those people don't happen very often though. That's for sure.
Yes, I'm gonna post this call. Let me stop recording.